Guys, I have been dying to kind of jump into the inspiration of the people that inspired me, and I cannot go through that list without hitting the Talking Heads. Now, it might surprise you because of the music you've seen me react to, and the tastes I have that I've not dug into the Talking Heads. In fact, I was just talking with my dad, the original Walter, who's actually in the chat tonight. And the only songs I know from them confidently are Burning Down the House, This Must Be the Place, and Psycho Killer. Those are the only ones. So I'm super excited to actually, get a real taste of what it is they can do. I know that they've inspired a ridiculous amount of artists that I love. And I seem to be in this kind of new wave classic kick that, yo, thank you for gifting my dad a sub, man, from me to you, Crimson. Bang. So yeah, I shouldn't call them the Talking Heads. There is no the in the name. Thank you. That is actually very valid. Guys, I'm going to hop into this thing. Before I hit the play button on Born Under Punches, The Heat Goes On, it's just very important to me that you know that you are awesome, that you are valuable, that you are important, that you matter, that you are deserving of love, and that I am abundantly grateful for even a moment of your time. If you like what you see, feel free to hit the like and the subscribe button. It goes a long way to help me out. If you really like what you see, feel free to leave a comment or join us on Twitch. Those people over there are actually the best. They just want you to know that you matter, you belong, and, give you some good people to listen to music with. There we go. And so do I. Guys, without further ado, remain in light. Talking Heads, Born Under Punches, The Heat Goes On is the opener. Here it is. Funky! And hang on. Actually, I want to read this. Talking Heads consisted of David Byrne on lead vocals and guitar, Jerry Harrison on keys, Tina Weymouth on bass, or Weymouth maybe, and Chris France on drums. Following the 1979 album Fear of Music, Chris and Tina, who, by the way, are husband and wife, were frustrated with their place in the band. Byrne was the band's lead songwriter, and the rest of the band wanted more control. In addition, David was having writer's block, so they decided to come together and jam. Whatever the best parts of the jam were, they would loop. Okay, easy to do today. But the band's... Oh, Brian Eno produced this. Nice, truly revolutionary. A big influence was Afrobeat, specifically Nigerian music, Fela Kuti. Got it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now I'm gonna start it over, and we're gonna go. The funk, the slapping bass is massive. Woo! That chunky slapped bass.
Take a look at these hands. Take a look at these hands.
Take a look at these hands.
I never got them in there.
Oh man.
Well, I'm a tumble. Born under punches.
Dude.
I'm so thin.
I cannot believe this hasn't crossed my ears yet. Well, so, like, the slapped bass, there's a little bit of me that feels like I'm hearing the Clash, but maybe it's just a time period thing. I could be wrong there.
I'm so thin.
The harmonies there, or not harmonies, the group vocals. No, it's harmonies. I don't know if these guys... So I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like I'm hearing that, like, the Police took inspiration from this album for sure. like perhaps not in like the slapped bass, like because let's be real, Sting don't have these chops, but I cannot help but feel like I'm hearing the Police and some of the ways they edited and some of the different reggae structures. Not that this was necessarily reggae, but it just seems like maybe there's an editing thing. Oh, I believe it. The vocals here.
Don't you miss it? Don't you miss it? Some of you people just about missed it.
Do you think this happened before or after the Police? So like Roxanne came out a little bit earlier, so it's not like the Roxanne era I'm talking about. Like I'm thinking like I don't know, maybe they are contemporaries. Okay. I mean, I thought that was the case. Huh. The delivery, the passion with that voice.
I don't have to mention it. No thanks. I'm a government man.
There's so many cool parts to this. There's all these little layers, like little guitar, like palm muted harmonics. I feel like I'm hearing, but. This is like I feel like that was a dial-up guitar, you know what I mean? That guitar solo was done on dial-up. I love that instrumental though. I don't know that I've heard like bit crushed noises, like 8-bit synth sounds quite like that, as like offbeat as it was and like uncomfortable, like, but yeah, he's playing the modem. But it happens, it sounds like it is a guitar. Like I'm hearing like what I'm feeling is like sweep picking sounds. And that kind of sounds like a pinball machine. Who sings the song Cruel Summer? Because this kind of reminds me of that song. I want to hear that shout again. Wow. Bananarama. I'm a tumbler. What's amazing to me is that this is the same band that sings This Must Be the Place, Naive Melody. I want is to breathe. Won't you breathe with me? I feel like this is anxiety about the world around you. And like seeing that you're stressed.
Hands of a government man. Don't you miss it? Don't you miss it?
Wow. Oh man.
Don't you miss it?
That. Did you guys hear the bass line there?
Don't you miss
It had like a They started, so yeah, I guess this is the band. This is like, from what everybody told me in the comments section, like XTC is like the English equivalent of Talking Heads. The Across the Pond version. Yeah, no, polyrhythms, golly, that fell right out of my mouth incorrectly. We're definitely there. And again, it stands out so much because, and like I found myself trying to figure out, like, am I hearing a polyrhythm or am I just hearing a moment of bombastic offbeat? But this was very different than what I had anticipated it kind of sounding like. I wasn't really looking at the year, and it seems that this was in 1980, near tail end of 1980. So I got the feeling, though, that this was about kind of being paranoid about the world you live in, like whether it's your country, paranoid about the people around you, just wanting everybody to like slow down and breathe, you know, and keep one step ahead of yourself. Like, hey, before you get carried away, slow down and breathe. Like, that's what it is to keep a step ahead of yourself. I don't know, man. No thanks, I'm a government man. Like, I feel like that's the idea that, like, you're talking to somebody saying, like, hey, take it easy. Stop what we're doing here. There's bad things happening. And other people, you know, the government man is like, I actually support that. And I don't know, maybe the paranoia that comes with that. This was very interesting. I definitely found myself, you know, the things that make it unique, like all of the different layers, the polyrhythms, the bass line is just unbelievable. Like slap bass for days. I very much like this one. I'm excited to hear what Fish does with that. So Cross-eyed and Painless. The funk inspiration here is so gnarly.
Lost my shape. Trying to act casual.
Been there.
Can't stop. I might end up in the hospital.
The Seisoras that they use are so nice. Like, I might end up in the hospital. Like, that pause for dramatic effect.
I might end up in the hospital. Changing my shape. I feel like an accident. They're back.
A rap breakdown.
To explain their experience.
Ooh! Wow! I love that! I think Rumham was right. Mega banger alert.
Facts lost. Another thing seemed to me. Nothing there. No information left of any kind.
Do you hear this off.
Lifting my head,
That noise.
looking for the danger signs. There was a light.
I love this.
Was a formula.
This where they go to these like head voice like falsetto parts like
There was a line, there was a formula, sharp as a knife, hearts got a hole in us. There was a line,
one chord songs.
there was a formula, sharp as a knife, hearts got a hole in us.
You and Gracie dancing. Whoa, what was that noise? It went from left ear fade out, right ear fade out. Fellas, babies, I gotta have more cowbell. This is very much a cowbell song. Okay, they didn't do it on that one. I want you guys to, headphone listeners, if you are in the chat, identify yourselves, because I'm going to point something out to you. There's these interesting sounds. So check. The plain sounds. That's... There's so many layers to this. There's this synth that's going... Wow.
The island of dumb. It's like the taste of medicine. Working by hindsight. Got the message from the oxygen.
The lyricism.
Making the list. Find the cost of opportunity.
Cost.
Doing it right. Facts are useful in emergencies.
Bro. Find the cost of opportunity. Doing it right, facts are useless in emergencies. Like, whew. I'm really blown. Like, this is, the feeling returns whenever we close our eyes, lifting my head, looking around inside. The island of doubt, it's like the taste of medicine. Working by hindsight, got the message from the oxygen. Making, it's like he incorporates a stutter to add a sense of kind of conviction, but also shyness. Like, I feel like maybe he's a guy that might stutter or be shy in general. Find the cost of opportunity, doing it right, facts are... I'm really, really surprised, because again, they're actually really deep lyrics to kind of funny sounding like songs. Like, you think right sad sounding song, right?
Hello.
Yo, Scoots, you just gave 10 gifted subs from me to you, man. Thank you. Holy actual cats. Bang. Dude, I love you. Thank you for that. Oh, golly. Bro, thank you so much. Make sure to thank Scoots if you got one.
Facts are simple and facts are straight. Facts are legit and facts are lit. Facts all come with points of view. Facts
This man dropped the hardest bars of the time around, potentially, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like, actually, kind of nuts to think about. This was a rap in 1980. Scoodle Dump, you don't have to keep doing that, dude. Thank you. Dude, thank you again. 5. Dude, thank you. That's 15 tonight. Dude, from me to you. How have I not heard? Yeah, I think you should chill happy. I'm still waiting. You were a freshman in 1980, Dad. So I'm like thinking of like a 14-year-old you walking around like with Keith and Kevin listening to Talking Heads. When you told, like, growing up, I would hear my dad tell me the music he listened to, and a lot of it was like Tom Petty and AC/DC, stuff like that. You know, like with the Sony Walkman. I had a CD Walkman, which is different than your Walkman, but it's crazy for me to think about the fact that, like, this is the music that you were listening to with them. Absolutely mind-blowing. Clark! Coach! Sorry, I heard him wrestling around. Coach! Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. The bongos.
The world is near, but it's out of reach. Some people touch it, but they can't hold on. She is moving to describe the world. She
I want to go back and revisit this.
is moving to describe the world.
You hear that? Night must fall.
She is moving to describe the world. She has messages for everyone. She is moving by remote control. Hands that guide her are invisible.
The different vocal layers, and then there's that guitar part. This is so good, but it's also so dynamic in that, like, you're hearing all of the. It's kind of hard to follow along. Sometimes the world has a load of questions. Seems like the world knows nothing at all. The world is near, but it's out of reach. Some people touch it, but they can't hold on. She is moving to describe the world. It's kind of weird reading it with the parentheticals. She is moving to describe the world. She has messages for everyone. She is moving by remote control. Hands that guide her are invisible. Wow. Wow. Night must.
The world has a way of looking at people. Sometimes we feel that the world is wrong. She loves the world and all the people in it. She shakes them up when she starts to walk. She is only partly human.
She's.
She finds the possibilities.
Wow.
Holding on for an eternity.
That's super interesting. Going from that part, like the world is a way of looking at people. Sometimes we feel that the world is wrong. She loves the world and all the people in it. She shakes them up when she starts to walk. Like she is only partly human being. She defines I think they mean defies the possibilities. Defines the possibilities could be. Holding on for an eternity, gone, ending without a finish, which is kind of crazy because it's like it kind of indicates like a cycle there, right? Like gone and ending without a finish. I don't know. Oh! I feel like hair metal went on to borrow this sound. You know what it reminds me of? The one Primus song I know is Mr. Crinkle. Apart from the ones you guys have let me hear, this reminds me of Mr. Crinkle a little bit. I love their group vocals. They have such a huge energy. This is lit. It's really a bummer to me that this music didn't out-survive some of the other music I've heard. Like, I know that Talking Heads has a big following now, you know, but I feel like it's not the music I hear the most out of the 80s. I feel like Journey and Foreigner are the ones you hear the most out of the 80s. Thank you, Scoots. Was he singing about anybody in particular, or this idea? Is he singing, like, is she an idea here, or does she represent a person that we know of at this point in time? This song has been super lit. That whole Night Must Fall, darker, darker part is just so cool to me. There's just such an energy that comes with it. even know how to begin trying to make this noise. Will somebody give me validation and say that they also think that it sounds a little bit like Mr. Crinkle, please? I like how long that went. That grumble, that ooh. It's such a gnarly sound. Okay, so that was absolutely. I mean, honestly, it's really started off with some mega huge ones. I definitely see. No, I liked that one too. Like that's off to a really fast 3. That's not like this is a really good album. This might just be a peak album. Like in the things I'm hearing, you know, like the things I'm hearing between all of the different orientations of layers where you have the different vocal layers, you have some of the best bass lines I've ever heard. I mean, golly goodness, there really is such a huge thing. I like, and again, I keep hearing this and thinking to myself, I know that Fish covered this album, and I don't even know what their version of this album might be like. I'm really excited for the direction that this channel has been going, though, because I'm really discovering music that has, like, really, really, really been hitting me. Like, very much. I really like this. Now, this one is Once in a Lifetime. Here we go. I think I know this. I think I do know this. This is in, like, a lot of TV.
And you may find yourself living in a shotgun shack. And you may find yourself in another part of the world. And you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile. And you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife.
I love that
And you
they
may
throw
ask
the
yourself,
rhymes.
well, how did I get here?
Letting the days go by. Let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by. Water flowing underground into the blue again. After the money's gone. Once in a lifetime. Water flowing underground.
And you may ask
Guys, this is so good. And you know what's funny is you miss this entirely when you just hear it in a commercial context. Like, you don't see the eloquence in the lyricism when you just hear the ba 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 da 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 da. When you just hear kind of the uplifting thing, and you miss such a core part of this song. Like, I've heard the bop before, but I've never delved into the bop before. And there's something here kind of like, and you may find, like, it almost feels like they're commenting on, like, they found success. And maybe I could be wrong, and you may find yourself living in a shotgun shack, and you may find yourself in another part of the world. Or maybe it's saying on both sides of the coin, everything should be okay. And you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile, and you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife, asking, how did I get here? And that's like that moment of, like, kind of realizing your blessings. You know what I mean? Like, the things that you have. There's a really cool thing to realizing that you have a beautiful life. Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground. So it's like, is the water holding you down under the ground? Into the blue again. Into the ocean after the money's gone. Once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. Please give me your interpretation of the lyrics here.
So, how do I work this? And you may ask yourself, where is that large
Autopilot.
automobile? And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful house. And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful wife.
Letting the days go by. Let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by.
The layers came in here. You have the extra guitar here.
Into the blue again. After the money's gone. Once in a lifetime. Water flowing underground.
Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
Is this why when I asked how you guys were doing earlier, you guys kept saying same as it ever was? How are things going? Same as it ever was? That makes so much more sense now. That makes so much more sense now.
Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was. Water dissolving and water removing. There is water at the bottom of the ocean. Under the water, carry the water. Remove the water at the bottom of the ocean. Water dissolving and water removing.
I'm sorry to go back, but this part was really interesting. Listen to the way the voice went. Also, Dad, what's the all OMG there?
The ocean. Under the water, carry the water. Remove the water at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Water dissolving and water
Letting the days go by. Let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by.
What's up, Wilson stepbrother?
Into the blue again. Into the silent water. Under the rocks and stones. There is water underground. Letting the days go
This is such a good song.
hold me down. Letting the days go by. Water flowing underground.
It's impossible for me to have missed this particular song. So I've like for sure heard it, could never have told you what the name of it was. If I listened critically, like without seeing the band's name, I probably could have told you it was the Talking Heads, but I might have also said Devo, like just being honest about it. And I'm saying this as honest as I can be. Because again, it just wasn't a song that stood out to me as one of those things that I knew of. But again, as I'm hearing it, as I'm seeing the lyrics, as we're like talking about what they mean, or what they could mean, it adds a layer of depth to this song that makes it so much more amazing than any of the commercial applications I've seen it used in. Thanks for coming by, Wilson. We're not listening to Ween or Fish.
You may ask yourself, what is that beautiful house? You may ask yourself, where does that highway go to? And you may ask yourself, am I right? Am I wrong? And you may say to yourself, my God, what have I done?
Letting the days go by. Let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by. Water flowing underground into the blue.
To your point on if just blinking and your life passes by you, I feel like the song Ants Marching by Dave Matthews Band was kind of written in the same vein there. You know, like he wakes up in the morning, does his teeth, bite to eat, and he's rolling, never changes a thing. The weekends, the week begins. And I got to be honest, in my own life, I've definitely kind of had that feeling. And I've talked to my parents about it, like just, you know, I kind of have navigated through adulthood feeling like, especially when I got into the rigors of my career, you know, feeling like there was always the same thing all the time, every day. I wasn't doing things I was passionate about or things that made me happy. And that was kind of my realization. Like I'd blinked and my 20s were gone. And like I didn't like my life. And I don't know. I had that realization. Like I was just kind of on autopilot and I didn't necessarily feel like I'd conscientiously chosen to get here. I just sort of ended up here. And that very much resounds with me. And that existential crisis of sorts has kind of gotten better as I have tried to seek out things I enjoy for the sake of just enjoying them. This being one of those. You know, like I don't ever expect to become a big YouTuber. I have a good job. I have a good career. I do this because I get a community of people to listen and talk to music about with. And I've not experienced music death where it's like I listen to the same 200 songs all day, every day. Like I've branched out. And all of those things are kind of in an effort for me to battle what this song is really singing into. and again, so when I say that it hits me deeper than what I've heard in its commercial applications, and like when I say like, wow, it's a lot more fun, and I talk on the layers, it's really the lyricism and again the way it's presented that makes it. It's definitely got like a cheerfully melancholic, very introspective, and kind of like hopeful to get away from what is vibe to it, and that's just awesome to me. I'm hearing and I don't know if I'm hearing a little tiny guitar lead that's like palm mute pops, or if I'm hearing like a lot of keys. There's so many different layers that I don't know what the noise is I'm hearing. I imagine a ton of analog synth. It's funny that you mentioned that, Wilson Stepbrother, because I literally looked up which Halloween show was the Halloween show where Fish did this album. Yeah, that's absolutely 100% gonna be the next thing I do for Fish. So if you're a Fish fan and you're here, you got it before everyone else did.
Look where my hand was. Time isn't holding up. Time isn't after us. Same as it ever was. 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 Same as it ever was.
I love this song. I love that really yucky crunch guitar sound.
Twister comes. Here comes the twister.
It sounds like it's both a wah and an octave pedal. Letting the days go by. This song was so good. This song, I'm so glad I actually know what that song is now. It's so much more than what it's been used for. So Houses in Motion. Bow, 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 bow.
Wearing shoes with no socks in cold weather. I knew my heart was in the right place. I
Okay.
knew I'd be able to do these things. As we watch him digging his own grave, it was important to know that was where he's at.
I love the funk element here.
Before to stop, that is what he believed. He'll keep on digging for 1,000
Did
years.
burning down the house happen before or after this? Oh, man. Oh, yeah. I love the vocal takes here. Yeah, I feel like this song might have walked so that Burning Down the House could run, but I love this. The vocal take here, along with that, like, palm muted, the funk vibe here is amazing. I didn't know Talking Heads sounded like this. I knew that they were new wave, but I didn't know that it was like this. The funk thing was a very nice surprise.
Never get to say much. Never get
I
to
have never checked out Adolescence.
tell us a little bit, but not too much. Right about then, it's where she give up. She has closed her eyes. She has give up hope.
Who sings this part? Because I want to try to... I want to try to record vocals like this. Burn. Got you, Purpose. Is this a flute? I love the funkadelic sound here. There's a jazz vibe to it. I don't know what that sound is, though. Sup, Amar? Go sup! The way that the walking the line thing happens, right? Like, it's like we're getting worse and worse walking the line. I'm walking the line thinking about empty motion, just barely enough to be living. Is it a theremin? Because I feel like if it's a theremin that they're editing the outcome, because it doesn't sound nearly as spaceshipy. So I feel like they've compressed the sound maybe and like crunched it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I haven't really messed a lot with the theremin. It might be a horn. I think it's a jazz flute. There's a couple of different noises. I think it's just somebody farting. Maybe. Do they have one of those weird synth strips on the keyboard? Maybe. I don't think it was vocoded. Maybe they... No. I'd be interested. YouTube, if you happen to know later, please let me know. Oh. Seen and not seen. Buddha-doon. Buddha-down. Oh.
He would see faces in movies, on TV, in magazines, and in books. He thought that some of these faces might be right for him, and that through the years, by keeping an ideal facial structure fixed in his mind, or somewhere in the back of his...
Hey, Dad, if you're still in the chat, what was that Jim Morrison work that you and I listened to where he's just reading his poetry about the Indian man? Can you tell me that? Because this is vaguely reminding me of that, but with like synthy sounds.
We'd see faces in movies, on TV, in magazines...
Yes, An American Prayer. Am I far off here? Do you agree with that comparison?
Might be right for him, and that through the years, by keeping an ideal facial structure fixed in his mind, or somewhere in the back of his mind, that he might, by force of will, cause his face to approach those of his ideal. The change would be very subtle.
The noises.
It might take 10 years or so. Gradually his face would change its shape. More hooked nose. Wider, thinner lips.
Is the gentleman that's reciting this, is he the same guy that sings with that big voice?
Beady eyes.
Okay. Ew.
He imagined that this was an ability he shared with most other people.
That the extra layer there with the boop, 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 that arpeggiator.
He imagined that this was an ability he shared with most other people. They had also molded their faces according to some ideal. Maybe they imagined a new face would better suit their personality. Or maybe they imagined that their personality would be forced to change to fit the new appearance.
This is kind of abstract. It's definitely like a story.
Impressions are often correct. Although some people might have made mistakes, they may have arrived at an appearance that bears no
Definitely
relationship to
Brian
reality.
Eno.
They may have picked an ideal appearance based on some childish.
There's a couple of noises that really are standing out to me, the bass line being one, but then there's every now and again this pew, pew, pew kind of sound. And it goes just as fast as it comes in. That noise too.
Some may have gotten halfway there and then changed their minds.
To me, this was the softest one on the album. But it did give me that, it definitely gave me the American Prayer and American Prayer vibe.
He wonders
If
he
only in
too
the way he delivered it.
might have made a similar mistake.
It's not the softness, it's not the tone of the song. It is that I think it was the least good album on the least good song on the album. Like, so far, the album has been exemplary. It's been fantastic. But this was the song I liked the least so far. So this is Listening Wind. Du-du-du. Oh. One, okay, so I'm glad I wasn't the only one that thought that. Ew! I feel like that's the sound that we recently heard King Crimson do in Mate Kudasai. That is 100% what sounds to me like an analog delay with some reverb where it's just a quick slide and kill the volume. You're definitely hearing volume swells on a guitar here. Oh, is he? The guy that played guitar on Mate Kudasai is on this album? I'm willing to bet you it's the same. I'm willing to bet you it's the same guitar, the same slide, the same dude that's making the sounds. It's such a specific thing. It's that Stratocaster looking guitar that's actually an Ibanez. 100%. I'm willing to bet you that that's what it is.
The foreigners in growing numbers. He sees the foreigners in fancy houses. He dreams of days that he can still remember. Now,
Wow. Now, it sounds like they detuned the world's tiniest violin.
he sees the
If you know what, that's a SpongeBob reference, but it's in reference to the sound I'm hearing, and like it detunes and then goes back into tune.
foreigners in fancy houses. He dreams of days that he can still remember. Now, holds the package in his quivering hands. Sends the package to the American man.
I cannot believe that I called the Mate Kudasai guitar sound to this album, just being like, I feel like I heard this guitar sound recently, and you guys were like, well, you did. Wow. Sometimes you feel good about yourself as a like. Sometimes your ears surprise you, and like this was likely coincidental, but again, to recognize tones like that is a good feeling.
In his quivering hands, Moshe sends the package to the American man. Softly, he glides along the streets and alleys. Up comes the wind that makes them run for cover. He feels the time is surely now or never more.
You know what's amazing is that they throw the rhymes almost all the time, and I've never once cared.
The wind in my heart, dust in my head, dust in my head.
The bass line, though.
The wind in my heart, come to drive them away, drive them away.
The soundscapes made by these synths and ambient swelly sounds. This guitar part by that guy, I don't know what his name is. But this is definitely... Yeah, it's like he went straight from doing this song with Talking Heads to go play Mate. Andrew Ballou. Yeah, or Bellew. I don't know how to... Adrian Ballou. Yeah, that guy. It really does sound like he just found a sound he loved and just used it. But he's got such a good sound. Ooh.
The wind in my heart, dust in my head,
Oh, man.
dust in my head. The wind in my heart, the wind in my heart, come to drive them away, drive them away.
I really like the instrumentation here, but the lyricism is something I'm having a hard time connecting to, and I'm wondering if this is time specific.
Plants devices through the free trade zone. He feels the wind is lifting up his people. He calls the wind to guide him on his mission. He knows his friend the wind is always standing by. Moshe smells the wind that comes from far away.
The deep bass sounds here. Woo, 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 woo.
In a quiet place, he feels the presence of the wind around him. He feels the power of the past behind him.
There's a creepy, almost circus-y kind of thing to this. Like a minor key circus.
The wind in my heart, the wind in my heart, dust in my head, dust in my head. The wind in my heart, the wind in my heart, come to drive them away, drive them away. The wind in my heart.
This has definitely not been my favorite either. I think I see what you guys mean when you said like this. It kind of fizzles out after the first 5. Listening Wind was just not my favorite. It kind of, for whatever reason, I got other than just the slow little take. And maybe I'm just thinking about it because it's like nature equivalent, nature adjacent. But Desert Rose by Sting, I think, for whatever reason, I was brought to. And this is the overload, the closer. I don't really think it's a topical song from 1980, if that's what you mean. I think it's abstracted from any real okay. All right, see you in a bit, Sam. Drive safe or be safe on your way. No, Sting like the lead singer of The Police. In his solo work, he was called Sting. Wow. And that's eerie. That, like, I don't know if it's controlled feedback or like a volume squeal swell. Scoots, have you not seen me wear the Joy Division t-shirt like many times?
Gentle collapsing.
This kind of does remind me a little bit of Atmosphere.
I'm touched by your pleas. I value these moments.
I'm touched by your pleas. I value these moments. A terrible signal, too weak to even recognize. A gentle collapsing, the removal of the insides. I'm touched by your pleas. I value these moments. You know, what's interesting is, again, they kind of do, I feel like intentionally sometimes throw the rhymes, and maybe they don't, but you could say, I'm touched by your pleas. I value these memories. But instead he said moments, you know? And you cannot tell me that a genius level writer like this guy didn't think that he could rhyme it. You know what I mean? I don't think that that's necessarily the point of what they're trying to do, though. I feel like so much of what I've observed in this album is immediately counterculture to what was happening in music at the time. You know, when you consider a lot of the music that was happening at that time, it was very riff-oriented, guitar rock with long solos, and you know, that's cool. Like, I love that kind of music. It's why I listen to music in the first place in a lot of ways. But I feel like this has gone completely against that. Memories are in the past, moments are the now. Also, very, very good call.
In someone's eyes.
That's a good point. I feel like they're just making these big ambient reverby swells, and you're not necessarily hearing the pick of the guitar strike. And like they're swelling into the sound and letting it just be, you know, big and sustained.
Frequent returning.
What's up, TJ?
Leaving unnoticed. A condition of mercy. A change in the weather. A view to
The guitar in the back, it creates a big tension.
center is missing.
Ooh.
Question how the future.
It makes sense to me when you say that, because again, while Garrett, I'm reading that and it's very interesting to me because again, Ian Curtis had that like super kind of low baritone kind of voice. They had that really atmospheric minor key ambience to their reverb sounds. Definitely can get a Joy Division vibe from this. Again, particularly in the song Atmosphere.
In someone's eyes.
Sorry, Dad. If you want me to listen to Doja Cat, you gotta get on the wheel. Or win at marbles. I know. But I tell you, if my dad called me one day and was like, son, no cap, you need to listen to this Doja Cat song. You need to do a reaction to it. I promise you that day would be done. And I would 100% throw him under the bus and be like, my dad wanted me to do this. How do you tell him no? Boing! Those sounds. I'm not quite sure what they are. This also a little bit reminds me of like Piper at the Gates of Dawn era, Floyd. Less so than it does Joy Division, but I get a little bit of that too with the atmosphere here. Oh, that's another great, that's very solid comparison there. It's definitely, I think that Joy Division, I don't think it's necessarily a comparison. They're different sounds entirely. There's similarities, but I don't think that it does anybody any amount of good trying to compare Joy Division and and Talking Heads. I didn't find myself really enjoying the last 3 songs. I very much found myself in love with the first 5. I think that it's mind-blowing to me that I haven't heard this album. I would absolutely say it's iconic. Yeah, like it's absolutely... when I think about my favorite song, I feel like Once in a Lifetime is kind of up there, though. I think it was Once in a Lifetime or Born... I don't know. The Great Curve was also real good. So was... I don't know. I need to think about this. This album really did... I mean, it really stood the test of time. There's the album cover. Yeah. I'm absolutely going to listen to more Talking Heads. Like, for sure. This is one I'll jump into. I don't know when I'm going to do another album, but like I'm super interested in this catalog. I thought that this smoked the first Devo album. For like, I think Uncontrollable Urge was a really good song, but I definitely, and like a lot of that We Are Devo album was good, but I found myself just kind of connecting with and enjoying this one more overall. So yeah, not that, I think you just compare them because of the time period and like, you know, that they do kind of like comparable sounds, like they're abstract in lyricism. They're definitely non-conformist musicians. Definitely like I could, again, they're contemporaries, but I just found myself vibing with this more than I found myself vibing with the We Are Devo album. Neither here nor there. Guys, I love you. Thank you so much for being here and listening to this with me. Thank you so much for the positivity that you show both to me and to one another. Continue to be the best. And until I see you next, be introspective and consider the birds. Goodbye.